Hello and welcome to the 7th International Uşak Short Film Festival. I'm Saran, a member of the festival and also pre-jury last year. Today I am welcoming Zhannat Alshanova to talk about her film Paola Makes a Wish. It's definitely one of my favorites and I'm so happy to have you here today. How are you and how do you feel, Zhannat?
Hey, yeah, thank you for having me. Very excited. I mean, like with all the strange situation in the world, I think it's still wonderful to have festivals and films traveling and connecting to the audience. So thank you for having me and the film as well.
Thank you for being here. I read somewhere that you mentioned your films travel more than you do because of the current crisis going on. And I find very accurate.
At least something, you know?
Yeah,
Someone is
right?
traveling at least.
And your films really travel quite a lot. I mean, I checked it out and they've been everywhere. So for our viewers, I would like to read the synopsis very quickly. Paola Makes a Wish is about a lady who is at work listening to her colleagues talking about some things, and then we see her reaction on the screen, and we see this part of young men in between. I mean, young men who are directly looks into the camera, and I think that's where the audience, the spectator, makes the connection with Paola, because at the end of the film, I felt embodied with Paola and was very happy with the ending. So I want to ask that how did you develop this idea of Paola? Was it that you eavesdropped something or you had the idea of another thing? How did it come to life?
Mm, I think initially I wanted to I wanted to explore this idea of a woman who never experienced orgasm or any like crazy sexual experience, and she came to the point when she thinks maybe it's too late, you know, but like suddenly she like starts to listen to other people experiences and she starts to understand maybe there is something she wants to experience, she wants to try. And it's I think it's kind of a common feeling that can all of us have about like missing out something, you know, that like you think you get to this point and apparently there's something you've never tried. And I think that was one of the ideas behind the film. And I mean the development was crazy because like I mean it was part of the workshop at Locarno, so we really had like very small amount of time for everything, for pre-production, for development, for shooting, for post-production. And so it was kind of all developed on the fly, you know. And like I had a core idea and I wanted to work with what I had at the moment and like with all the constraints. So it was this interesting experience of making it as well.
Maybe when there's more constraints and more you are limited, the more creative you get, in my opinion. And when we look at Paolo Makes a Wish, it's almost like in one shot between all those men coming in and coming out. But in the end, it gives a really powerful message to work with. And I think it makes it simply very beautiful. I loved it quite a lot. And this workshop was being managed by Bellatar, right?
Yeah.
Would you tell us how did he influence this film specifically?
I mean, it was a wonderful experience, to be honest, because like I mean, like imagine you're meeting Bellatar first time in your life at 9 a.m. and he asks you what you want to do, and you say like, "Oh, I want to do this film about orgasm."
And he says,
Like,
"Yeah."
actually say that, and he was like, "Okay, go ahead. Like, what's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, there's this woman, and she never experienced something, and she wants to try." No, no, no. And you know what I loved about working with him is that he really tried to understand what you're trying to say, and he's so engaged with the process, with the creative process. Like he tells you like very bluntly what he thinks about it. Like he likes it, he doesn't like it, and why. It's not just purely subjective, but he's trying to, yeah, it's constructive, and he's giving his personal opinion. You can take it or leave it. And also the thing was, we were supposed to shoot it in different location, and the story was supposed to be slightly different. Like it was supposed to be like in the mountains in the village. And the day before the production, the avalanche happened in those beautiful Swiss mountains. So it was impossible to shoot there. And because we were shooting like 3 days in a row, like helping each of us, we were like 15 filmmakers. And I was on the shoot the day before my shoot, and he came on set and he was, Zhannat, you're in trouble.
Oh my God.
You cannot go there. You go and think something else. And I tried to like find something else, like maybe a different idea, maybe something easier, because I didn't want to put like all these people behind the workshop in trouble, you know, like all the production. And I understood the struggle because they were trying to accommodate all of our needs. And I was trying to find something easy, and I came back to him and I pitched him a different idea, which was kind of similar but a little bit different, just, you know, like just to make it. And he listened to me and he was like, you know, you don't have to, you shouldn't compromise like on what you want. Like you should go for what you want, and there is a way to make it happen. You think of changing the location, but like it's important what you're trying to say. Like, and we had a really great conversation with him actually about like, you know, like you reach to some kind of point in your life and your age, and you like still want to fight back. You don't want to just, you know, like just retire or something. And that's what he liked about the story of Paola, because it's the story of this woman who is like in her like 50s, and like most of her life probably is behind, but she doesn't want to give up, you know, and she wants to strike for life, and she wants to still like experience all of the joy. And I think this conversation was really important for me. Like we didn't talk much about the story itself and the production, like, well, briefly, but I think just like, you know, like when you get to the core of why this film is important, why you want to make this film, what you're trying to say, and you get this energy, and this energy helps you to push it through, like, and to enjoy it. And like when we were on set, he was with me for some of the shoot, and he was like we were laughing so much, and he was laughing, and I look at him and I smiled, and he was like, what? I'm like, this is just so fun. He was like, yeah, it has to be fun. Like, why else would you make films? You have to enjoy it. It have to be joyful. It have to be like interesting for yourself. Otherwise, like, why are you doing this? You know. And I think like it was like his influence was more about the approach to filmmaking, the approach to stories, the you know, like some kind of core values, I would say. And that really helped me like to get through the whole madness and constraints.
Yeah, it's fun, but in the same time, it's a very real story. I'm very sure that so many people can relate to Paola. It resembles such a strong character, in my opinion. And I loved it very much. Thank you for that. As I checked out your other works and your background, I saw that you're coming from actually a business administration and marketing part. And I read about the shift in your career, but would you like to tell a bit more about this?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I think I was always kind of gravitating towards arts, but like when I was graduating from the school, I guess I didn't feel confident enough to pursue creative career. And at that time, maybe the industry wasn't that promising at all. Like, you know, like I didn't see, like my parents didn't see like any kind of perspective for me. Like if I do like design or something, I don't know. But I was thinking about like design or journalism. And I think at that time, like I didn't have enough courage to go for it or confidence. So I went for business school, which was like kind of like, you know, like one of the best programs in Kazakhstan. And I really enjoyed it. It was really nice. Like it was kind of creative as well, because like the marketing, the brand management, like, you know, like all the creative parts of it. And I graduated. I got into the master's degree in Spain for marketing. I came back, I got a job in the oil and gas company, and I was working like in the financial department for for some time. And then I just felt that something is wrong. It's all working, like I can do it, but like something doesn't really work for me in terms of like I don't really see myself there like in I don't know, 10 years something.
Mhm.
And I felt I wanted to try something more creative, and I couldn't find exactly what would it be. I was thinking about like this and that, like I don't know, I was, checking different stuff, and then at some point I just woke up with this idea, like, oh, maybe I should like go into film.
And just
And then,
like that.
yeah, but it's funny because like I was never like like a cinephile or something. You know, I don't have
Mhm.
friends in cinema. Like I no relatives in film business. I didn't know anyone. Like, you know, I couldn't even connect with someone in terms of like
Mhm.
talking about it. And for me, it was just like a crazy idea, and I thought it's gonna pass at some point, but it hasn't so far.
I think you're such an inspiration, and I know some people who are in your shoes as well. They want to just shift their own career at the moment, but sometimes they don't have the guts to do it, or maybe they are just not very sure about it. So, to those who are watching this interview right now, would you tell us how did you establish your networking? And then, okay, you are really talented. I saw your films, but how did you land in a workshop with Bellatar? Because you have to be selected for that, right?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, it was a long process, like from like the point when I woke up with this idea to like to today, right? Like because like I thought about it like maybe like 10 years ago, and at that time like there was like no like there was no film production going in Kazakhstan, so you can't even get like any experience on set because nobody's shooting pretty much anything. There's like 1 or 2 productions per year, right? And I was like, okay, I'll try something near, like something around it. I'll do like a theater workshop. I'll do a photography class. I'll do like drawing class. I'll do like I'll work in the gallery like the marketing manager or something. And you know, like, and in the meantime, I'll try to make some kind of portfolio, like write something, like try to write a script, try to like make a photography collection or something. You know, like it doesn't have to be like film per se, but like, you know, it's you have to start from some at some point. And I started enrolling to film schools, and I was trying to like prepare some kind of portfolio for film schools. And I got into London Film School, but I couldn't go straight away. We had some like family issues going on, so it took me maybe another year, I think, to be able to actually go to London. And that was 2015. And before that, actually, just before I left, I got it was so funny. I got this crazy offer. Just someone called me like, like you speak English. Do you want? Can you just like come with us on the production? There are some Americans. We need like you to help out. I was like, yeah, sure, like whatever. I didn't know like what it's about, and then it happened to be a Netflix show.
No way. Which one was
And
it?
it was my first job.
You're so lucky.
I was like, I wouldn't understand what's going on, you know? Like, I was on set, like, I couldn't understand the language, the film set language. I was like, what do they mean? What do I have to do? Like,
And it's how it started then.
yeah, I mean, like, that was the first, I guess for me, it was like the first idea of impression of like how the film set is running, like, who is doing what, who is responsible for what. And because I was like, they came to Kazakhstan and were shooting this in the middle of the nowhere in the steppe. So like I was constantly being in the car with like a producer or a cinematographer or director, and they were like all super open people. So like I would just ask them like, how did you get there? Like, what do you do? Like, I want to become a film director. What do I do? Like, I mean, nobody gives you like the instruction, you know, like the
Yeah.
the manual. But they share their stories sometimes, and you feel inspired that sometimes people like start from absolutely different point. You know, like you don't have to be born in the filmmaker's family or like I don't know, like you know, like with this crazy connections or knowledge, and you can get there, and it's doable and it's manageable and it's like it's possible. And I think this idea kind of gave me the confidence that it's possible. I think, and when you have this idea that it's possible, it's easier to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I went to film school. I graduated 3 years after. I got this like wonderful connection with people in London because they were like filmmakers from all over the world,
Mm-hmm.
and we like end up like 1 year we were just shooting films around the world. Like I produced a film in Turkey, I produced a film in US, in South Africa. I was first aid in Guatemala. So
Wow.
it was amazing. You know, like when everyone was able to travel, it was a great time.
Yeah.
But I guess, yeah, I guess like you constantly work on your understanding of the global industry and like of like what's happening in the film industry, what's happening in the film world, like what other films are getting made, who are the people behind them, and of course, like all the festivals were a great source of networking, meeting people, just sharing stories of how everyone got to this point, sharing stories like what they've done before, what they're doing, and you like and you start to research it. You know, like you see someone got into Better Than Other Talents, you're like, oh, there's Better Than Other Talents program. You apply for it, like, and you start looking for something else, like, you know, like it's just like I think because like now there is so much going on, like for emerging filmmakers, so important to understand to see all the opportunities because you know, like for example, the Bellatar workshop, it was the first time it happened in Locarno, you know, so not everyone knew about it because like Bellatar had his own workshops running around the world, but that's the first time when they collaborated with Locarno. And you know, you follow the festivals on the social media, you see like what the initiative they're doing, and I think it's really like important to understand like all the opportunities you can have.
Mm-hmm. So it ends with you actually. You pursue everything after it. You talk to people to learn about their stories or how to get from A to B, and then you mentioned that maybe you have a network already established or this and that. Even though people have those, if they don't pursue what they love, they still get stuck at some point. So this is not your story. Your story is to go after everything you want to achieve, and then you just land on everything you want to, as I see.
Yeah, because you know, like of course there are a lot of rejections, like you know, like but you have to keep applying for things because like okay, I mean like you see like it's beautiful to see like all those like festival selections, but like what nobody sees like how many rejections you get as well, you know, and it's also discouraging of course, but it doesn't mean that you have to stop because if you stop you lose your chance to be admitted as well, you know. And sometimes like you have to just keep trying, keep applying and looking for like seeing like if it's still working for you, like what like you know, like evaluating what you're where you're going and like what would work for you, and like don't put everything on these like labs and festivals because there's so many of them, but you still have to like keep pushing. I guess.
Yeah. Well, it was so nice to have your film on our festival. It's a really a different one, and I'm so sure people will love it. You can see the official screening on the festival website. Is there anything you would like to add Zhannat?
I'll just hope we can all get back to normal.
Yeah.
And enjoy films together because I feel that with all the like streaming platforms and all the online platforms and festivals, it's a wonderful opportunity to still be connected, but I really hope that the physical world of the film industry will come back to all of us and we can share the experience all together.
Totally.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time and hope to see you and welcome you one day physically to here. Please take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.